Yeah,
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Coach Clarence, and today I've got a special guest in, one of my business partners. You guys will see me promoting the executive social. This is JR, the advisor. He is I done already ruined it. He is a he is a insurance specialist in Arizona, and he can clean that up. But the reason I have him on is because a subject that comes up all the time in the insurance business, also in my business, and they kind of go over each other a lot of times. So what we'll have is people asking questions about their policy. As you know, when you get a mortgage, whether it's a refinance, a HELOC, a purchase, you have to have the home has to be insured, or no investor is going to touch that home. So we have to have alliances and partnerships. So I've in line with JR, the advisor, and I just feel like he is one of the best in the game because of his approach and how he treats clients. I myself just changed policy because of him and how he works and found out I was losing some money. So glad to have you on, JR. Let's go. What's going on with you?
man. First, thank you for the introduction, man. I mean, that's one of those best introductions that you can make. I appreciate that. I'm doing good, man. I'm just enjoying the moment.
Yeah, we always give each other shit. We see each other in person. When we have to be serious, it's like, oh man, what's your real name?
Yes, yes,
You
yes,
know,
yeah.
but it's all love.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about briefly give us a short background to who you are, how you got here.
So, native of Arizona, first and foremost, um, a lover of God. Let's start there. A father, two beautiful children, and a network of beautiful people around me that has helped lead me along my journey. Um, that's spiritually who I am, just doing my best to get better day by day and doing my best to spread that same energy everywhere I go and control my emotions and lead with the heart of love. So that's spiritually, and professionally, growing up, I didn't really understand a lot about money and insurance. I never really could figure it out. Only thing I know is that I get money, I spend it on what I want, and hopefully it's enough to cover everything that I want, but with no structure. So that was always in the back of my mind as far as like, how does this whole money and insurance world work? How does it work? I got into insurance as a regular auto insurance advisor. Um, got a lot of education in the insurance industry about the different laws of insurance, the story behind insurance, why it's so important for all of us, and financial literacy. Um, then from there, I wanted to learn more. So I said, let me go into being a financial advisor. So I got my Series 65, learned again about the story of finances, why they're so important to understand and how they work, since we all have to deal with it and manage it. Um, and I still wanted to learn more. So I got into the mortgage industry as a mortgage loan advisor and understand how the mortgages works, since that's normally one of our biggest assets that we take on in our life. Um, then I wanted to put it all together because I seen on all those different avenues, those different stops along the way, there were like gaps. If I was a financial advisor, I couldn't see the auto and home insurance side, and that's a big threat against the financial side. So there were gaps. So I wanted to put it all together to really sit back and first understand it myself and educate my friends and loved ones, but also to share that knowledge throughout our community. Just basic and making it as simple as possible. So I teamed up with Comperion Insurance Agency. Comperion Insurance Agency is owned by Liberty Mutual, And the best way to describe it is imagine walking into a store, a big store that's all about insurance, different products, whatever you can think of. This big store has pretty much all insurance products. And think about having all different type of insurance companies to choose from for these different products that you're looking for. And my job as a private insurance advisor is to work with you one on one, figure out, hey, what's the goal of your life? What type of lifestyle do you want to live throughout your life? Where are you at now? How can we protect this estate? How can we grow this estate, your money? How can we grow it and protect it? And how can we transfer it legally at the end of the day? So in a nutshell, I know it's a little I answered like five of your questions in one. So that's a whole nutshell of who I am and why it's important. This is my way of giving back to our community.
So what I'm hearing is you're like a broker. You're not captive to one agency or one insurance company. You kind of find a product that fits whatever that person's needs are and their financial goals.
Absolutely, absolutely. Comperion Insurance Agency is a again just like a big insurance store,
Yeah,
one
I
stop
like that
shop.
analogy.
Yeah,
So before coming on, I knew we were gonna have this conversation. So I kind of did a poll of people in my sphere and clients and agents, and I wanted the top five questions. So I said I have an expert on. I want to get these questions answered, and these were the top five. So let me start with the first question, which was, um, "Am I fully insured?" And the question is, "Can my policy be fully rebuilt or replace my home or belonging in today's market? What's not covered, and do I need additional coverage based on what everything we see going on in the world today?"
that's a good question. It's basically about taking inventory. So anytime I have a client who wants to get their home insured, the very first thing that we're going to do is going to just kind of ask some questions about the lifestyle of that person. Hey, if your whole house burnt down tomorrow, all your personal items in this house, refrigerators, appliances, right, TVs, clothes, all the things that we collect, right? How much is that worth to you? How much of a check do you want for those things? So it's really about taking inventory first. So we go through a basic inventory checklist, kind of get a feel of how much that personal property is worth. Um, from there, we're looking at, okay, let's get the best estimate possible how much it will cost to rebuild this home if we have to rebuild it from the ground up. And always looking at the structure of the home. How tall are your homes? We want to rebuild this home to the best of our ability to the same exact way that you had it before. Our goal as the insurance industry is to bring you back whole, bring you back to where you were before. So we'll start there and then we'll look at get those numbers first, and then we will cover as much as possible. We always like to say we cover as much as you can afford. I mean, the structure of the home is one thing. We can kind of get a pretty good idea of how much it will cost to rebuild that. And then normally we'll put like a buffer with it. Like we'll say, let's add another 25% on top of that cost, just in case just in case if we need a little bit more, we have a little bit of cushion of more insurance. So we can kind of figure those things out. Some things that we really can't figure out the cost of is things like um, liability issues. Like if somebody gets injured on your property, if you cause some type of injury and you get sued, um, a lot of folks don't understand, but in a lot of these situations, your home and renter's insurance policy can step in because it has liability as a part of the policy to help cover those situations. So in that regard, if somebody gets injured, they have medical bills, we really can't determine how much those medical bills are going to cost. So that cost is unlimited. It has a potential to be unlimited. So the rule that we like to use is some is better than none and get as much as I need or can afford because we're trying to protect your whole assets from being taken away so you can utilize them and transfer them to your family.
Okay. All right. So the next one, which is common, as you know, what is my deductible and how does it actually affect what I actually pay if there is a claim? And if there's any excess, should I know about?
So the deductible is basically the amount of money that we the consumer have to pay, or that's our skin in the game
Yeah.
if a claim happens. So the rule of the deductible is simple. The higher the deductible, the more money we're willing to pay if a claim happens. The insurance company is going to give us a lower rate because we're putting more skin in the game with them. The lower the deductible, the higher the price is going to be because again, we're putting less skin in the game.
So would you say really it's kind of tied into the first question was what's all this worth to you? Are you in a position to get away with a lower deductible? I think a lot of people select lower deductibles because of they don't understand how it really works. Then there's the people who gamble go, I've never even been in an accident, so I'm gonna take the highest deductible because my monthly is gonna be lower. But
You
when
know,
we
that's a
have that
good thought
claim,
process.
mhm.
That's a good point, Clarence. The way that we look at it is if you have an emergency fund set up of at least 3 months of all your expenses, savings, all your free time, kicking it time. If you have all of those expenses, and of course, we want to be keeping a close eye and eliminating unnecessary expenses. But if we have all those expenses totaled and at least have 3 months saved away, we would normally tell you to go with a higher deductible. We'll quote both prices, right? But we'd normally say go with the highest deductible if it's going to save a lot of money on the insurance cost, because we can take that money and we can put that money in a cash value life insurance policy. We can flip that money instead of paying the money back to the insurance company, especially if you already have the reserves in place. At least 3 months as an emergency fund, preferably as long as possible, right? I mean, the goal is like a year, but normally we always say 3 months as a good ground zero point to kind of start building some structure around your financial assets.
Pat, that's a great explanation there, because I think that's a lot of confusion with insurance and whatnot. People don't really know how to put things together. And we appreciate you because you take the time. One of the things I hear from my clients is, man, he really explained it to me. He really broke it down. He took the time. A lot of times agents are just trying to get their commission. Same thing in my business. People don't explain what they're doing to people. And you're talking about big investments and you're just throwing numbers at them. A lot of times people just go, oh, well, that sounds okay. Well, I can fit the budget. Which leads me to the third point, which is the coverage worth what I'm paying? How does my premium compare to similar plans? And I don't want you to bash any particular insurance company, but there are a lot of companies out there who don't back up what they say. I, as a victim of that, got some of the cheapest insurance when I was younger just because I was just trying to get the cheapest thing. And then when I had a claim, they didn't pay it, or they had some excuse why they didn't pay it, something that was in the fine print that was on page 50 of the application.
Right, right. So I look at it like this, all the insurance companies, I want to say they're all good. We all take an oath in this industry to service our community, and it's service first with education. And and there's different rules and regulations in place to make sure that this insurance system operates the way that it was created to operate, which is with integrity, first and foremost. Second, making sure that the insurance companies have the reserves money set aside that covers the book of business that they have on file, just to make sure that they're insured, make sure that the insurance company is insured to cover that. Um, so I firmly believe that all of us, everybody in this industry, we operate off of the highest integrity and good faith, period. Now, the behavior of us humans at times will always put mud on that thought process, the behavior of things. However, there's going to be some situations where the behavior gets in the way of the reality and disrupts and creates a negative experience like you had. That's going to happen, unfortunately. But the root of it is that we must believe in the insurance industry, because it's not about the insurance industry, it's about us as just humans, as just people. This is the foundation to structure our financial estate. We have to work together, because the reality of the situation is, in my opinion, is if the insurance industry goes away, our whole financial system will crumble at the same exact moment. From a simple analogy is, if you get into a car accident today, that's your fault. Something as simple as a car accident. Can you self-insure that whole accident? Can you pay for everything yourself without going bankrupt? And for a lot of us, no, we cannot. So the insurance company is here to first educate you, make sure that you fit their risk. This is not a game. We're a team. If I'm asking you, if I have a certain type of appetite or a certain type of client that I'm looking for, I'm asking you questions to fit that appetite, because I'm taking a big risk. You're going to pay me a couple of $100s for 1 month, and automatically the insurance company is on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars every time you drive your car. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They have more invested on their side than our side. The consumer just paying them a few $100s. So that's why in the application process, and I'm very thorough, because my job as the advisor is, I don't work for the insurance company. I work for the community, and I work with the insurance company. So, and I say with the insurance company, that means it's my job and my duty to understand their appetite, what they're looking for, and to make sure that you and I, the client, can really figure out which is going to be the best company to put you with. Because if you're not honest on the application and a claim does happen, they have every right to deny the claim, because that's something that they would have never normally covered in the first place.
Got you. So, which leads to the next question: would I be denied or lose coverage down the line? How does my health affect rates now and later?
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Will I be denied or lose coverage down the line? And I think this is more life and health, but how does my health affect my rates now and later? And are there riders or options that I can add to protect myself for future stuff?
Absolutely. The very first thing, I always look back now, like, and I wish sometimes I can be like an angel on my mom and dad's shoulder and tell them what to teach me and what to do for me as a baby coming into this world. The very first thing we want to do to establish our financial structure is get a permanent life insurance policy that has some type of savings account, cash value built into it. And same analogy about the auto insurance in regards to, the insurance company is taking on a big risk and we're paying a little bit. And, so it's already like a lopsided um, agreement on the insurance company side. Um, Life insurance is something that we just can't walk in this store and go get. It's something that we have to be approved for, qualified. This is a perk to our lifestyle. This is one of the fundamental assets that we need to add to our financial structure. And the younger we are, the cheaper it is. The older we get, the higher it will become. And if we have any sicknesses or different things like that, the insurance company, we're all humans, so it's like we understand life. So life happens. So we take a lot of risk for different type of ailments and situations like that. We're going to thoroughly look at everything. The insurance company is going to pay to look at all those things to do their best to get you approved because they want you as a client. Um, and then they will, if there's things that come up, age or an ailment, they'll look at it, and for the most part, absolutely, it will probably increase your price without a doubt. Um, but they would do their best to be very fair to make it happen. And again, that's my role. I work for you. I work for the client. So I'm your private advisor. So it's my job to make sure that I'm your highest representative, making sure that we're getting the best of the best and that we both understand the contract because I'm on the line with you if something goes negative because I need to make sure that you understand the contract and abide by the contract or it will go void. But yeah, basically, the older you get, the more expensive things are with life insurance. The younger you are, the cheaper it is. Get it as soon as possible because life happens randomly.
Yeah. So the last question of those five, which is what happens if I need to file a claim? Um, is there a timeline? Should they talk to you directly or do they just you deal with the company? A lot of people feel like with claims, it's confusing because the company's like, oh, just do this, and they don't feel like it's a personal touch. So how would you address that last concern that came up?
That's a real concern because at that point, that's the point where the insurance company has to operate off of their contract. They have to show up at that point because that's why we get insurance. We need you now. So now I need you to operate and deliver on your contract as smoothly and as effectively as possible, right? So everything is pretty much AI and through the apps and it's very digital. So you can pretty much start your claim on one of the insurance companies app. Now all of them don't have this, but it's 2025, everybody is having it very quickly if they don't. But basically you can start your claim right there, put all the information in, take the pictures, upload the pictures literally easier than going to Instagram or TikTok. It's right there. So you can start it that way, start that process. The insurance companies will normally respond within 24 to 72 hours of a claim happening. They want to at least make a touch point with us at that point. Um, and if you are not really techie, of course, they still have phone numbers that you can call in and naturally file your claim. Now, for us, the consumer, our job is not to just, oh, file a claim and let me put my hands up. No, we want to actively, because again, we're in the insurance company and the consumer, we're partners. We're both protecting your estate. That's not their estate. This is yours. So you want to work together. So I say that to think of things like if I am in a car accident, let me take pictures. Let me maybe capture a little video. I may have a dash cam. Let me get all the information they need. Let me make sure I get a police report. Let me make sure I call the insurance company as soon as possible. Um, all those things to help the claim go smoother because the insurance company obviously is still going to have questions. They need you to, y'all are teammates. They have questions to figure out. So it's a time consuming matter. So for us as consumer is to understand the big picture that have faith that the insurance company is going to do exactly what they said they would do. Have a great advisor on your side to really walk with you hand in hand. If a claim happens, the insurance company will like to deal with that matter directly through their claims department. As your insurance advisor, I'm always available to step in when I need to step in if things are not going the way that they need to go, our way or the way that we expected them to go. But we just really got to keep the big picture in mind. And I think the biggest thing is to get in the mindset of that the insurance company is our partner. We need the insurance company because we cannot afford to self-insure ourselves. And this is going to set up structure around our financial assets.
Mhm.
This is not new news. This has been around for a couple of hundred years, if not more. This is why it was created. And now, at least in my experience, these are things that I didn't learn growing up. So when you just 17, 18 years old, you're just ready to live life, and your parents don't really know for the most part. So nobody really knows. So you're just playing in this system and don't really know how to play. And it's not even hard. It's just taking the time to understand the basis of it. And once you understand the basis, you can take care of everything from that point. But we just got to stop working for free, basically. We need to protect our assets, enjoy life, love God first and foremost, and understand how to protect and transfer our assets because there's no reason why we're still doing um, uh, well, not group post, the other one, GoFundMe's and there's
I,
nothing wrong with
I,
GoFundMe. Trust me. And when my sister passed, we had to use a little GoFundMe for ourselves, just to get started because there's a time process between from when the insurance company pays the life insurance policy
I,
out.
'cause
It's like
they,
30 days.
yeah, because they do their due diligence too, make sure there's nothing funny with that, you know.
Make sure the person is dead first and foremost. Trust me. Making sure the wife is not involved or the husband is
Yeah,
not
right.
involved.
If hey, listen, if I die, be looking for whoever you saw me with. She probably did it.
Yeah, you got to be making sure. So it takes time. So it takes like 30, sometimes
Yeah,
60 days for the insurance company to cash out. In the
100%.
meantime, you have a dead loved one, and you got to figure out the funeral and all this stuff. So all my point is, all those things have a place, but
Yes, sir.
for the same amount of money that we invest in everything else, this is the first thing that we should have invested in. It's always spiritual health, physical health, obviously, well, with that, and then financial health, like structure the financial side of it.
So obviously, with my clients, I have an introduction to you that we created via the email, and it has the way for them to just plug in their information. You can spit them out, which I mean, literally 100% of the people I've referred to you, except one, all were, took the program that you suggested. So if people are watching this and they want to have a complimentary look at what they have and maybe take some advice on where they can do better, how can they find you to set that up?
If you're on Instagram, just go to JR the Advisor. There's a link in the bio. It will take you right to our site. It's all pretty much AI and automated, so you can create your profile, schedule a time that works best for us to meet, and you can even share your current insurance policy in under like 2 minutes. That'd be the best way to find me right there. Yeah, just put in JR the Advisor. You'll find me. You'll find me. But I would say this. Regardless if you well, I have to say a couple things. My main purpose is to save you from the pain of shopping for insurance.
It is a
That's
pain.
why
100%.
Comperion Insurance Agency was created to save you from the pain of shopping for insurance, and not only shopping for it, managing the policies yourself. Our life is already hectic enough. And then thirdly, being educated to understand not only your goals, your financial structure at the moment, creating a plan of how we can grow this together, all that together. And plus you get myself, so you get all of that in one. So well, at least once or twice a year, we do like a insurance review or a financial wellness checkup, just to see if there's anything that changed over throughout the year. Husband, wife, divorce, married, new kids, life changes real quick. So that's a part of what we do. What I've noticed is that a lot of times once we get insurance, as long as we're paying for it, we normally don't hear from the company. That's it. And then sometimes the coverages and those things get outdated, obviously, because life is changing by the moment. So that's one of our biggest uh, attributes that we provide to our clients, is that we do those checkups at least twice a year, because again, we're partners in this.
Got it, got it. So, JR, like myself, I'm an advisor. Same way we look at each individual application, and that's what makes this service so unique. Is they look at everything. There are a lot of order takers in our businesses, and you're just a number, and they just put you in a framework because it's simple, it's easy, it's quick, and that's what they're comfortable with, and they don't take the time to really find out what are the best coverages for you. So, you got my insurance, so. Um, and my clients really like what you do. So we're gonna keep sending you people and keep taking care of them. Give me one big win this year you've had in your business, and then maybe a win personally that happened for you this year in 2025 so far.
And first, thank you. I appreciate us partnering and spreading this knowledge. So I appreciate that. See, from day one, man. Thank you. You already know. Um, One big win professionally and personally, I would have to say they both, the one is the absolute shift of mindset. You know, for me personally, it's once our once I shifted my mindset to where I'm just like, you know what, just get it done. You know, we can make up all the excuses in the world. We can be as lazy as we want to be. We can do all these things that we put in the way of us accomplishing our goals, living the life that we want to live. You can come up with all the excuses and do all the things to hinder that from happening. Um, but if for me, it was more like understanding all those things that I've allowed to hinder those situations, to saying that, you know what, let's just go get it. Life is beautiful. Life is also short. It's a blessing. Let's focus on what you need to focus on. Let's put in the work. Faith without action is a delusion. We must put the work in, and shifting that mindset, and then also um, doing my best to be my best, not only to myself, but to everybody I come in contact with. Doing my best to be a vessel. Emotional intelligence is challenging for all of us, because life happens.
Right, right.
Shift, but for the most part, the root of my goal is just to, like, man, let me just be love
Hmm.
to the best of my ability. Let me
Yeah.
take a moment to be genuine, and that shift is what shifted everything for me.
Hmm.
I feel better as a human being about myself. I just all those things that we need to be working on, because it's all about us first. It's us versus us,
Yeah.
us first procrastination. So that was the mind shift for me, bro.
All right. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. JR the advisor. You see him around town. He's friendly. You can come up and have a conversation with him.
All in the video with it. Yeah. Yeah, all in
Yeah.
the video
I
with it.
mean,
Yes.
you're looking for an insurance company where the producers all in the video.
Yeah, all in the video. Yes.
Yes, sir. All right, man. My man, JR, the advisor. Thank you for coming on, explaining this, and look forward to us doing stuff in the future and taking your questions. We are looking to do something in the future where we have him as the insurance person and mortgage person, and then we're going to maybe have somebody who just does the financial piece all in one. Maybe a live webinar we can answer questions and get you signed up and get you in the right direction. A big part of the way we do business is we're thinking about people's financial futures. Every mortgage I try to do, I have the person's best financial interest in mind. And so we link up with people like JR. So, all right. Thanks
Yes.
for coming on, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me as a guest. I'm grateful.
Absolutely.
Namaste. Namaste. I'm
Hey.
grateful. Yes.
All right, my man.
Thank
We'll
y'all for
see you
having me.
all next time on Coach's Corner.
Yes. Peace. Boom.